Dodgers win 4-3. They sweep the Twins, and we celebrate the good in life, which is milestone moments presented by New York Life. 300 home runs for Mr. Mookie Betts. This is his, wow, look at this, career in totality. And I think when we only look at the numbers, CY, we don't get the whole picture, right? This is a super duper star who is open to playing any position. He knows he's going to be judged by his numbers at the end of the day. He does it with a smile. The success of Mookie Betts over 13 big league seasons is just incredible. He needs some love.
He needs some love. I'm going to give it to him right now. You're talking about a Hall of Famer. And I mean that as a no-doubt Hall of Famer, no matter what happens moving forward. This guy has done enough to where he's going to be enshrined in Cooperstown for years to come. And when I watch Mook, it reminds me of myself at times, not how I performed on the field, but just the adjustments that you're always trying to play with, especially as you start to get a little bit older in the game. You've seen Mook grinding this year. He continues to try to make adjustments. He had the oblique injury. I've heard Dave Roberts talk about the struggles that Mookie has gone through. But one thing about great players is they're going to find a way to get it done and do whatever is needed to help the team. I give props to Dave Roberts for not moving him in the lineup, keeping him in that 4th spot for right now. And Mook is starting to pay dividends. We paid attention to last night's game. You're starting to see some of the adjustment that he's trying to make come to fruition, starting to hit the ball the other way, getting the ball in the air. He had a couple base hits yesterday, but we have to celebrate the big 300 homer. I mean, 300 homers for a career. There's only like 15 active players right now who have it, but what stands out to me with Mook is his size. I played with Mook in Boston, and when you see a small frame guy, you're talking about most home runs by players at 5'9", listed 5'9" or shorter. I think Hank Aaron was a little shorter than 6 feet, but we don't have to talk about that right now. Mookie Betts with 300 homers, and you're talking about a 5'9" player. That's what makes baseball so special, in my opinion, is that guys come in all shapes and sizes, and just because you're a smaller player doesn't mean that you can't be a prolific power hitter. It's just the way that you do it is going to be different. Mookie Betts is going to hit homers a lot different than Aaron Judge has hit homers. Let's keep it running. And I was teammates of this guy. Back in our Boston days, 2014, 2015, I'm seeing this small kid thinking, man, he's going to be a great role player. He's going to be a great platoon guy, a guy who can bounce all over the field, play defense, probably hit for decent power, but he pulled the ball in the air, and you didn't know if it had something to do with Fenway. Would the home runs translate from Fenway to Dodger Stadium? I mean, 2022, he hit 35 home runs in Dodger Stadium to silence all the critics to think that his power only played in one place. But it comes from pulling the ball in the air. He's going to hit an oppo homer every now and then, but one thing he does better than anybody is recognize the pitch that he needs to get on, fire at it. Always been one of the whippiest guys in baseball, and using his natural athleticism on the field to go out there and find a way to backspin and drive the ball out of the yard. It's really special stuff that we're seeing with Mookie Betts. But to be honest, this year, he's gone through his fair share of struggles. From last season to the weight that he lost in Japan to the oblique injury this year, you can see that Mook has been a little bit out of sync as of late. And when you watch the splits, you can see that he's started to turn things around over the last 11 games. But one thing I pay attention to is you're never going as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as you think you've been as well. Let's keep it running. When I watch the at-bats, the expected numbers don't play. And I'm not really huge into the analytics all the time and the metrics. And there's a lot of times as the hitter, you hit the ball hard, you go into the dugout, somebody's patting you on the back and saying, good swing. As a player, you don't want to hear it. And I can guarantee you, Mook doesn't want to hear that, hey, you're hitting the ball hard. Just keep your head up. But all the Dodgers staff has been talking to him, and I guarantee you they're going to him, hey, you're not far off. Continue to stay locked in, continue to go with the plan, and this is where being a veteran comes into play. Let's run the tape to show what this looks like. You see the third largest split in average and actual versus expected. This is what that looks like in real life. It's a lot of at-bats where you're going out there and you're hitting the ball hard. You feel like you're nailing it. His bat came a little bit across the plate right there. So you're hitting the ball hard, but you're not doing it consistently enough. You're having at-bats where you're getting good pitches to hit, but you're not necessarily, let's run this one back real quick. You're getting the pitches that you're used to driving. Let's look at this pitch from Beck right now. This is a pitch up in the zone, the typical pitch that Mook would normally drive out the yard, run it back one more time, and you see the bat roll over at the last second. Let's run it. Watch the bat movement. He's a guy who normally works out and through, and you see the bat just run out of room, turns over, and he's getting good pitches to hit, but he's just not lined up and timed up as he wants to be. And you see this a couple times. Even though this ball is hit hard, this is not the way Mook actually wants to fire at the ball and wants to drive at the ball. But the last 11 games, you're starting to see similar pitches that he's able to elevate. One thing that he does really well, and you hear guys talk about it all the time, pulling the ball in the air, he's getting the pitches and he's not rolling over. Right there, he gets away. Every now and then, you're not going to be perfect, and baseball is not a game that you should expect to be perfect. You want your misses to still allow you to go out there and get base hits, and right now, Mook is doing both of those things actually really well. He's taking that pitch. He's finding a way to keep it fair. He's getting the ball in the air. He's showing his power. He's not a huge swing speed guy. He's not going to hit 500-foot bombs. But let's pause this right here. He's a guy who's always been able to lean on his athleticism. Going back to Boston days, he always got a huge stretch. He's getting his coil. He would get big separation with his hands to where his body would come a little bit forward, and then his hands would stretch way far back, and that's how he generated his power. This is not the same way that Aaron Judge is going to generate his power. Let's look at the 3 years and see how these compare to each other. A little bit wider potentially in 2019. Let's run it back one more time, and I want to see just at the stride, stopping at the end of the stride. Hands a little higher here in 2022, right here. The only thing I really pay attention to with Mook on how he generates power is this separation over here. Hips square, but he always got a really big turn with his hands, and he would use this stretch all the way through here to generate pop. I think in 2026, although it looks close, I'm not sure if he's able to get the same stretch right now. As you get a little older, you're going to have to simplify things, especially with guys throwing a lot harder right now. I think we're starting to see the version of Mook to where he's simplifying a little bit. So maybe you lose a little bit thump, but you'll have a little bit better barrel control. But it's not far off. He's still moving the same way, so I think he still has plenty of years to go left in his belt. We've seen Mook plenty of times what he's able to bring to the field. He was one of the best right fielders to ever play the game. The sacrifice that he made because he wanted to do it, number one, and it was better for the team, number two, to go to shortstop to play for the Dodgers, leave right field where you're winning a Gold Glove every single season and allowing that to go to the wayside, to go and be a good shortstop. It's been great for him, and he's the ultimate team player, and it's the reason that everybody loves Mook so much. 300 home runs, 175 fielders runs. This tells me that a guy does it all. This is a one-stop shop to where he's able to go out there, do his thing. I think we have a hot change right here. And look at the company that he's keeping. Through age 33 season, Morin, Roflo.
Wow.
Look at A-Rod. This is one of the best players that we've ever seen toe the field.
Yeah.
Right here in the same category, Miguel Cabrera, Mike Trout, Adrian Beltre, Albert Pujols. This guy is special, and I think sometimes when a guy has been so great, you find yourself judging him on some struggles that he's going through, or if he's lost, or if he's this or he's that, or if he will ever be that superstar guy again. Great players find a way to adjust. I played with Pujols. I was with him towards the end of his career. He found a way to adjust. I think Mookie Betts is doing that right now, and he's going to be just fine.
The Twins. The ebbs and flows, right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Twins are off today. They begin a home series this weekend against the Rockies. And then the Dodgers also off today. They go to San Diego this weekend
that's gonna be fun.
take on the Padres. That's always a fun series between those two.
Dodgers, Padres, Red Sox, Yankees. We got some rivals.
Yes, we do.